Hi everyone, welcome to my channel where I review the latest movies and documentaries. Today, I'm going to talk about RoboCop movie. If you're interested in this topic, make sure to watch this video until the end, and subscribe to my channel for more content like this. RoboCop 2014 movie story. In 2028, war is revolutionized thanks to Omnicorp, a global company that produces peaceful robots capable of maintaining law and order. Led by CEO Raymond Sellers, the company seeks to market its technology to local security forces in the United States. However, the Resurface Act prohibits the use of armed drones in the United States. Sellers understands that most Americans oppose the use of these military systems in their communities, so he asks Dr. Jeanette Norton and his research team to find an alternative. The result is suggestion for a cyber police officer. However, Norton tells Sellers that the candidate must be able to handle being a cyborg, and some candidates are rejected. Sellers finds his chance when Officer Alex Murphy, who loves his wife and son and works hard to fight crime and corruption in Detroit, is seriously injured in the line of duty, after being subjected to an assassination attempt by drug dealers. Murphy agrees to turn into Robocop, a police officer partly a human and partly a robot. Equipped with advanced armor and powerful weapons, Murphy is programmed with a set of protocols and standards to ensure its safety and effectiveness. It is presented to the public as the world's first Robocop, and is warmly welcomed by the public and the media. Murphy begins his career as a police officer, solving many crimes and arresting many criminals. Robocop's popularity is growing and Omnicorp's shares are rising. However, unexpected problems arise due to a technical glitch in Murphy's programming. He suffers from painful memories of his previous life and family, and feels angry, sad and guilty. He finds it difficult to control his emotions and actions, and becomes more independent and predictive. He suspects that there is a conspiracy behind the attempt to kill him, and tries to uncover the truth. The regime considers Robocop a danger to itself and others, and tries to stop and destroy it. Robocop escapes from the building where he is being held, and overcomes robots sent by Omnicorp to stop him. He returns to Detroit, attacks the headquarters of the gang that tried to kill him, and kills its leader, Antoine Fallon. He discovers that Fallon was working with Detroit Police Chief Jack Lewis, who was taking bribes from Sellers to allow drug trafficking in the city. He captures Lewis and tries to reach Sellers. Murphy returns to the Omnicorp building and fights his way through robots sent by the company to stop him, while Lewis and his fellow police arrive to help him and face off against the rest of Omnicorp's forces. Matt Ox, an Omnicorp employee, subdues Murphy and tries to kill him, but is killed by Lewis. Murphy arrives at Sellers' office and confronts him. Sellers tries to convince Murphy to cooperate with him, and says he can return him to his family. But Murphy refuses, saying he can't live like a cyborg. He shoots and kills Sellers. The film ends with a scene for the Novak show, which criticizes the murder of Sellers and defends Omnicorp. He says Robocop is a traitor and a terrorist, and demands that the Resurface Act be repealed and robots allowed to be used in the United States. Viewers ask, why are we afraid of our robots? The program ends with the words, we have the future under control. And here we will have reached the end of our movie. Here are some quotes from our movie. RoboCop 2014 is an American science fiction action film that tells the story of a police officer who turns into a cyborg after being seriously injured on duty. The film is a remake of the 1987 film RoboCop, the fourth installment of the RoboCop series. The film is directed by Jose Padilla, and written by Joshua Zedemeyer, Nick Schenk, Edward Newmare, Michael Miner, based on the RoboCop character created by Newmare and Miner. The film contains many quotes that express RoboCop's personality, attitudes and feelings, as well as the messages and themes covered in the film. Here are some of these quotes and their analysis. I'm buying that for $1. This quote is a repetitive phrase that appears in a comedy TV show watched by many characters in the film. The program shows silly and funny situations that happen to an old man and beautiful girls. The quote expresses the irony, superficiality and triviality that pervades society in the film world, where violence, corruption and crime are presented as normal and acceptable, and robots and cyborgs are promoted as commercial and media products. The quote can also be understood as a satirical comment on the capitalism, consumerism and marketing that dominates the modern world. Move, you despicable. This quote is a phrase that RoboCop uses when faced with criminals and lawbreakers. The quote expresses the authority, power, and firmness that RoboCop has as a police officer and cyborg. The quote also shows the intolerance, empathy, and humanity that RoboCop lost after it turned into a machine. The quote can also be understood as a commentary on the oppression, regulation, and control exercised by government and corporations over citizens and freedoms in society. Come in peace or there will be problems. This quote is another phrase that RoboCop uses when faced with criminals and lawbreakers. The quote expresses the only choice that RoboCop leaves those involved with it, which is to surrender or confront. The quote also shows the ruthlessness, violence, and threat that RoboCop uses to enforce law and order. The quote can also be understood as a comment on the conflict, tension and fear that people experience in the film world, where robots and cyborgs are used as tools of war and murder. I'm not a robot. I'm a man. I am RoboCop. This quote is a phrase that RoboCop says when he is subjected to a stress test by Dr. Norton. The quote expresses RoboCop's identity and his struggle between being a human and a machine. The quote also shows RoboCop's determination to preserve his humanity, memory and personality, despite the manipulation and control he is subjected to by Omnicorp. I don't need a lawyer. I don't need anything. I am RoboCop. This quote is a phrase RoboCop says when he is arrested by police after he attacks the headquarters of Omnicorp. The quote expresses the confidence, independence, and courage that RoboCop has as a police officer and cyborg. The quote also shows RoboCop's rejection of the injustice, corruption and exploitation it is subjected to by Omnicorp and the legal system. I don't know how to feel. I don't feel anything. This quote is a phrase that RoboCop says when he talks to his wife Claire about his condition in life. The quote expresses the emptiness, bewilderment and pain that RoboCop feels after being transformed into a cyborg. The quote also shows the inability to communicate, understand and empathize with his family and lovers, due to the loss of most of his body and senses. Technical information about the film. RoboCop 2014 is an American science fiction action film that tells the story of a police officer who turns into a cyborg after being seriously injured on duty. The film is a remake of the 1987 film RoboCop, the fourth installment of the RoboCop series. The film is directed by Jose Padilla, and written by Joshua Zedemeyer, Edward Numire, Michael Miner, based on the RoboCop character created by Numire and Miner. The film was produced by Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer Pictures, Columbia Pictures, and Strike Entertainment, and was distributed by Sony Pictures Realizing. The film was released in the United States on February 12, 2014. The film features a group of well-known actors, including Joel Kinnaman as RoboCop, Gary Oldman, Michael Keaton, Samuel L. Jackson, Abby Cornish, Jackie Earle Haley, Michael K. Williams, Jennifer L. and Jay Baruchel in minor roles. The film was shot by different cameras, including the Arri Alexa M camera, the Arri Alexa Plus camera, and the Red Epic camera, with the use of Panavision Primo, PCZ and G-series lenses. The film was shot in Codex and Redcode RAW format, and was processed in Arri RAW and Digital Interactive format. The film was shot in a 2.351 aspect ratio, and was shown in 35mm D cinema format. The film was edited by Daniel Resend and Peter McNulty, and compassed by Pedro Brompman. The film lasts 1 hour and 57 minutes, and contains CTS mix sound, datasat, and Dolby Digital. The film is colorful, and uses computer and animation techniques to create scenes of robots, cyborgs and special effects. The film was shot in several locations, including Toronto and Vancouver in Canada, Hamilton in Canada, and Detroit in the United States. The film uses captured motion technology to create RoboCop and other robotic movements. The film also uses augmented reality technology to add digital elements to the real environment. The film also uses virtual reality technology to create RoboCop memory and dream scenes. The film uses real and fake weapons in combat and launch scenes. Some of the real weapons shown in the film are the Beretta 92 FS pistol, the Heckler rifle and the MP7A1 HUD, the Colt M4A1 rifle, the Sage Sauer SG552 rifle, the Remington ACR rifle, the Barrett M82A1 rifle, and the M233 grenade launcher. Some of the fake weapons shown in the film are a RoboCop pistol, an ED-209 rifle, and an M2083 rifle. The film uses a soundtrack consisting of 21 songs, most of which were composed by Pedro Brompman. The film's theme song is I Fought the Law by The Clash, which expresses RoboCop's stance on law and order. Some of the other songs featured in the film are Fly Me to the Moon by Frank Sinatra, Hocus Pocus by Fox, If I Only Had a Heart by Judy Garland, and New Year's Eve by Sophie Ellis-Pictor. That's it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it and learned something new. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and leave a comment below. Let me know what you think about this movie and what other movies or documentaries you want me to review next. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more videos like this one. Thanks for watching and see you next time. Bye.